Good morning and welcome to another session of Meditation 101, where I offer instruction and we have a short practice. Basically, however, practice is the key to achieving the benefits of meditation. And the meditation type that we're going to focus on this morning is mindfulness. There's a formal and there's an informal way to practice mindfulness. But before we get started, please find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Some of us can sit cross-legged and be comfortable, and some of us require perhaps a cushion up against a wall to keep our back straight until our hips and our lower back become loose and strong enough for us to be able to sit up straight. And also, a chair works. It needs to be a firm seat, a straight back. Your feet should be flat on the floor, ankles are uncrossed, and place your hands in whichever manner you're sitting, either face up or face down on your thighs. And then, of course, your head is centered between your shoulders. Your nose actually lines up with the center of your chest. Your sternum, your shoulders reside over your hips. Okay, so, and at any point, if you need to move, you're not a statue. You're a living, breathing, loving, one-of-a-kind human being. Okay, so based on the work of Jon Kabat-Zinn, who is the founder of Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, MBSR for short. He has a center for stress reduction and meditation in Massachusetts. And at this institution, where he has his 8-week course, and these courses are available all around the world, there are 3 types of formal meditation that is offered. The first is sitting, which is what we're going to do. The second is body scan. We did that last week, and I will be offering it again in the lying down position in the next few weeks. And the third one is various sequences of Hatha Yoga, done slowly, gently, and mindfully. Now, the breath, breathing, paying attention to your breath, is the doorway into all 3. And the goal in mindfulness is to simply be present in the moment with whatever is going on. Most of us will find that our minds are going to wander off sooner or later. Most of us sooner. And there's 4 areas where the mind typically wanders off to. It has a memory of something in the past. It's thinking about something, that hasn't happened yet, or something that you're going to be doing later in the day. Your mind might be frustrated, anxious, impatient, sitting, thinking, I'm not doing this right. This isn't working. Why am I doing this? And finally, the last thought is, you know what? I can't do this. I'm a failure. This is all completely normal. Every person who starts to meditate experiences this. So guess what? In mindfulness, notice your frustration. Notice your feeling of, I can't do this. That's not true. You don't know if you can do it or not. It's like learning how to skate, windsurf. Who stepped on a windsurfing board and got it right away? Oh, maybe one person, two persons, and so that may be true also for meditation. But for most of us mere mortals, it just takes practice. It takes faith and commitment to actually make yourself just sit and do it. And that's where the lower nature pipes up and says, yeah, but I don't feel like it, or it makes up 1,000 excuses. We all have a PhD in fertilizer. BS. So when the feelings pop up that you don't feel like doing something, but your higher self has a sense that you should be doing it, try to listen to your higher self and tell your lower nature, I know, I got all these things to do and I'll do them afterwards. Because the thing about developing a formal practice of meditation is that, like everyone who practices, eventually you start to feel different. You show up in life being able to really breathe, not holding your breath, not living with your shoulders up around your ears, waiting for the other shoe to drop. We've all been those people. How much longer do you want to be like that? So basically in mindfulness, you're paying attention on purpose without judgment. That's it. Can you do that? Now, just before we move into the formal practice, I want to briefly mention what an informal practice looks like. Most of us are on autopilot. And I could use the example of eating. Most of us eat mindlessly. We're not really looking at what's on that plate, other than to shovel it onto a fork or a spoon and shove it into our faces as fast as possible. And while we're chewing, not very well, because we're not being mindful, we're already ready to shove some more food onto the fork and shove that in before we bother to finish chewing or swallowing the last bite. That's eating mindlessly. That's going to be a whole other opportunity that we will share. Mindful eating. It's fun. It's actually sensual. It's a big deal. But so let's just take things like brushing our hair. Most of us do that, or maybe you just use your fingers. But hey, while you're using your fingers through your hair, are you actually feeling your fingers on your scalp? Are you actually feeling the texture of your hair? Or when you're doing something mundane and routine like washing the dishes, be with that. Be present. Like really notice the temperature of the water. Now, hey, I'm not suggesting that this is going to make you have some out-of-body experience. It might, but that's not the goal. The goal is to get us out of autopilot and into presence, into noticing taking a breath, appreciating taking a breath. There's far too much in life for us to be appreciative of every single thing that we have. But checking in 5 times a day with whatever it is you're doing. But be aware, this is not about checking in with how you're doing it. This is checking in with how you're being in it, without judgment, without a story. And the last thing I want to say before we practice is that one of the reasons Jon Kabat-Zinn came up with this, and one of the books that he has, Full Catastrophe Living, and I recommend that you check that book out because life is full of mini, minor, and major catastrophes, isn't it? And they can happen in a moment, in a second, and life changes. Jon Kabat-Zinn developed this program with helping people deal with stress. You can't escape it. Life is full of stressors. So people who come back from a war, they now have something called, not everyone, but some of them, post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. You don't have to go to war. You may have come out of a difficult family situation or marriage, or something happened at work, or, you know, something serious happened that has created a trauma in your life that you're struggling to sleep at night with. So this program was developed to help people deal with major stresses. And when we can non-judgmentally be with a stress, be with a sore hip, or a backache, or a heartache, not push it away, not deny it, not distract ourselves. Actually being with whatever it is, acknowledging it, has a way of transforming our relationship with it. Instead of pushing it away, wishing it away, or being angry, it is possible to be with our difficulties and watch the relationship with these issues morph into something that allows us to have choice, a more expanded and expansive way of being, instead of this narrow focus, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, with this problem, this issue, this thing in our tissues that has a hold of us, a grip on us, that by simply opening to it with no judgment, there might be tears. That's okay. Think of tears as irrigating your heart. The body is capable of transcending itself. And when you have the experience, you're going to get excited that you have a whole lot more power and control over how you are going to be in your life than you presently know. So if you need to wiggle around and let that which is touching the ground settle down, go ahead. Sitting up tall, eyes are closed. Allow the skin on your eyelids to soften and smooth. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax your jaw. Allow your chin to drop slightly towards your chest to elongate your neck. As you breathe in, notice the movement of your chest, diaphragm, belly, and breathing out, notice the movement. The breath is the doorway into every type of meditation practice. There are many. And I do invite you to try the different practices so that you can find the one that fits best. But use your breath to begin, always. And as you breathe, notice any attention or bodily sensations, whatever they are. Maybe you can feel your teeth on your lips. Maybe you're aware of the skin on your eyelids. Whatever it is, just go there. Always breathing in and out. It is the nature of the mind to want to be doing something, so we give it something to focus on. Or the body pulls focus, go there. There's no right or wrong way right now other than to be here now. Be present with whatever is. Checking in with your shoulders that they are aligned with your hips, that your spine is long but not stiff. You might be present with the sounds if there are any. You might be feeling your hands resting on your thighs. Observe. And breathe. If at this time, or any time you sit, if something's going on in your body, be with it. Notice it. Breathe into it. Just tend to it with your caring awareness. I might even go so far as to name it. You know, if it's a bit of a cranky hip, you might name it Harry, Hillary, anything at all. It's your hip. Of course, it has very limited ability to communicate with you in terms of your understanding what it's trying to tell you. But using our bodies to inform us, it can start out as a whisper. And in the moment, if we can't listen to the whisper, we could always say, hey, I know you're there and you're trying to tell me something. Know that I care and I'm going to get back to you. If you can't in this moment. But because you're meditating mindfully, you have this opportunity now. Everything's connected. The best pharmacy is between your ears. It's in your head. So with caring awareness, we hold back on the stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and instead we allow the release of dopamine, serotonin. We calm down our entire nervous system by shifting from beta brainwaves into theta. We are powerful beyond our imagination. We all possess extraordinary healing powers. The body itself has the ability to heal. You know it has the ability to self-regulate. It does it all day long, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just being mindful with the kind of miracle that you are is potent and powerful. I will be silent now for approximately 3 to 5 minutes. You know what you're doing. But you're not doing anything. You're simply going to be with yourself in this moment as best as you can. one more minute. Pause at the end of your exhalation. Notice the cessation of thought. You will be aware that you are paused at the bottom of your exhalation, but there will be no thinking. Please go ahead. If you can, continue to keep your eyes closed. So remember, mindfulness is best thought of as a way of being and boils down to fundamentally a question of whether and to what extent you are willing to be fully awake and present as your life unfolds. You're not trying to improve. Instead, you are inviting yourself to embody calmness, mindfulness, and equanimity right here, right now, and in the moment as best as you can. And finally, nothing or no one can teach us a new way until we unlearn and let go of the old way. Meditation is an invitation to let go of whatever's not working for you. And what will be working is already alive and inside of you. Thank you for sharing this time. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.